Welcome to Sorting Through Life with Colleen Waterston on AM 950, the progressive voice of Minnesota. Today, I am in the studio with my right and left hand, really my two go-to people in life, other than family, Alicia, and welcome to the studio, Warren.
Oh, thank you. Great to be here.
Great to be here. So, for those who don't know, my name is Colleen Waterston, and I am the owner of Space by Space Organizing, which is a Twin Cities based home organizing business. We really specialize in going into people's houses and giving whole home transformations, helping people make sense of their stuff. We also have a branch of our business we call Legacy Lifting, where we go into people's homes more with an end in mind, more with a downsize in mind. Maybe a senior downsize, especially focusing on what's the most important items to make sure that we have easily available for if and when a move happens. But all day we are immersed in helping people sort through their stuff, sorting through life alongside our clients. And Alicia, who's been here with me before, is from almost day one of my business,
Mhm.
like right hand, just here for all the things.
Yep.
Yeah, including the show. And Warren came into our lives a couple years ago, and Warren is my neighbor. And so, to set the stage, to tell you a little bit of backstory, I met Warren a day that it was probably like 2.5 years ago. I had had a tree fall down in my front yard and was thinking, I got to fix this. I got to get this removed. It was something I couldn't do on my own, big enough that I was calling tree services. And by an act of total meant to be, you were you are in my front yard and you were having a tree removed. And they say the cheapest day to get a tree removed is when your neighbor's already getting one removed. So it worked out really perfectly for me. And I was able to meet the tree guy and they came and did my thing. But your tree, Warren, this is just so charming and so Warren of you. You were getting the tree taken down so it wouldn't hit a neighbor's house, but tree removal's expensive, and you got it just removed so that if it fell, it wouldn't hit a neighbor's house. So it is now the tallest tree stump I've ever seen. But you were very generous in offering because you didn't want to pay for the removal of the tree. So you said, firewood for everyone who wants to take it away. And so that was our first interaction. And it was from the start a win win because you got a tree down, I got a tree down, you got some of your, the tree logs removed that wouldn't have been. But then we got to talking, and, we both have been my house that I'm in, I was raised in, your house that you're in, you were raised in. So we have this connection to our neighborhood, and you were taking care of your mother for a long time in that house. And you noticed that I would do garage sales.
Mhm.
And that is the theme of today's episode is garage sales because I would get ready for a garage sale and you started to come over and make small talk and kind of say, I might have a few things for you to sell. So I started to sell a few things for you and I would put them on Marketplace after, not typical garage sales. And I would put a few, whatever you made, I put it in your mailbox and I'd text you the tea set sold $40 in your mailbox. And, oh, thanks, and then a couple more items would appear. But then one day your mom passed, unfortunately. But incredibly, at age 97, you were very good of an amazing son taking care of her and helping her through the later years of life. And that opened the door for much more. And you came to me um, the home organizer through the woods.
Mhm.
Um, as serendipitous as the tree falling the same time that I needed the tree removal situation. And you had said I got a lot of stuff. Do you think you could help me sell? I've got some really good pieces of furniture. I've got some good stuff. Do you think you could help me sell it? So you took me on a tour of your house, and Alicia, you probably heard this from afar.
Yes,
So, why
yep.
don't you give some of the story from a different perspective?
Yeah, I just remember you mentioning your neighbor had some stuff that he was wanting to sell. Remember you bringing it over, we would list it on Facebook, and then you mentioned, "Oh, his grandmother's house, we're actually going to be going in and kinda helping get rid of some items, sell some items." And, little did I know that would lead to the summer of estate sales, and yeah.
Dun, dun, dun. Warren, what do you remember about that moment? Your mom passes, you're overwhelmed with grief
Uh,
and surrounded by stuff.
yeah, well, it wasn't a good thing to be in. You become emotionally attached. You just lost your mom, and so then, well, what's the next best, or not the best, but what things remind you of your mom? Well, it's the stuff that she accumulated, and that was one of their well, it was a source of entertainment for them because they would look through the ads, every weekend and see where the sales were, and they'd plot their strategy and what they were looking for. And maybe it was Ethan Allen furniture, maybe it was art, and so I mean that was their recreation to go out and talk to people and try to get the best bid, and then they'd come back with their hidden treasures, and then they'd try to find a place to put it all. And so I was left with all this stuff that they put all this time and energy into accumulating over the years. And it wasn't bad stuff, but some of it was, to excessive amount that they didn't need. There's only so much you need in life, and you can't take it with you. So, and if you haven't used it in 5 years, is it really a point of having all that stuff?
Yes, and I think that some children in your situation would sit back and just get a dumpster and almost
Mhm,
delight in I'm just letting all of this go. I can't even deal with it because your situation. So we walked through the house that your mom was in, and that was they had gone. His parents had gone and collected, and we call them excessive collectors.
mhm.
Some might see the situation and refer to it as the H word, but we just say the H word for anybody wondering. Hoarding is what we're talking about. But we say excessive collecting because they really did delight in the process of collecting.
Mhm.
What they didn't do was buy a showroom and flip all the things that they would buy.
Yeah.
It just kind of became your house, probably started as a showroom and then became layers of a showroom, and then your grandma's house 10 minutes away became where things that couldn't fit in the house went to go.
Mhm.
So we developed this strategy. We're like, okay, we did a sale. We did a garage sale, and I love a garage sale. So today this is May in Minnesota, and we are at the beginning of a garage sale season. I got to say I don't really go to garage sales anymore because I'm surrounded.
You host them.
I host them, but I also feel like our business makes you I've become so much less desiring to buy stuff
Yeah. Mhm.
because we're just around so much
Yeah.
all the time. And it's like, I just want space. I just want nothing there.
Mhm.
I do still have a lot of stuff, but I I don't go for that find as much as I used to.
Yeah.
Um, it stresses me out more than it delighted. It used to excite me. But so we go to this house and we said, okay, so we did a trial garage sale with a lot of your stuff. And we saw, okay, this worked well. So then we go to grandma's house down the road, and she's passed for 15 years, but it had been kept kind of as storage, and sometimes you'd go over there and do some stuff from there. But we decided we'd pull everything out of that house and bring it over to mine, and we're like, "Okay, we'll do a sale from here."
Mhm.
And I have a picture of Alicia standing on the top of my driveway with her hands on her head, surrounded by no less than 1,000 items.
Just baffled of what we were supposed to do and what we were going to do with these items.
And we just finished a garage sale, and we
Yes.
were so excited to get my car in the garage again,
Yep.
and it
Only to bring much more in.
we brought shelves from that house, and I think you and Tyler that day,
Oh,
a
yeah.
neighbor kid who was helping with yard work
Mhm.
turned garage sale work. you guys were so proud of yourselves because by the time I came back at the end of the day, you had put everything in the garage in like a pre-sale setup.
Yep.
And I came back and I said, okay, guys, we have a plan. We're going to do estate sales from that house.
I remember that. Just sitting there like, "Oh, okay, so let's just pack this stuff up now again and bring it back over."
Pivot, pivot. But I think for that, it was like hard to see the forest through the trees. It was hard to
Yeah.
see what that house was about. So, Warren, let's talk about that house. It's since sold. It had originally been for like an as is, and then by doing the sale, we got a lot of good new attention on it. Just tell us about the sale from your perspective.
Well, hiring somebody to do something I don't know anything about, which is throwing stuff away, um, that was a little bit daunting at first, and especially since I don't like spending money. Um, but if you look at the big picture, okay, what's the value Miss Colleen will bring to the table? Well, she's an expert at what she does, and she's been doing this for years, which is a lot more than I can say. And and then the value of the resale of the house. Actually, at that time, we had sold the house. Well, it wasn't officially sold, but we've signed had a
In the
in the
process.
process of closing, but we hadn't closed yet. And so having the house cleaned up and people walking through it, and a lot of people, I was really surprised, asked if the house is for sale. Well, it wasn't for sale at the time, but if you ever want to sell a house, that's a good way to sell a house is to have a garage sale because you'll bring a lot of people in there. And so that I was quite surprised at that. And then just to walk through a house that you can walk through and not trip over everything was kind of nice too. And it just looked like a whole to see a messy house as opposed to see a nice, clean, organized house. It was pretty enlightening to say the least.
What was your first initial thought when Colleen had said she wanted to do an estate sale out of your grandma's house?
I thought, no, it's because that was my territory. I mean, it's
Mhm.
my house. Do I want all these people tramping through, people I don't know, tramping through the house and looking at all this stuff? But, it turned out to be a good thing, actually.
Did your opinion change a lot after the first estate sale?
Yeah, I actually had kind of fun. I mean, it was kind of fun having, all these people were excited to see stuff and, maybe maybe some of the stuff was overpriced initially, but but
We
you,
were new.
but you got to see consider what the objective is. I mean, it's kind of fun to dicker with people about the price and stuff, but your main objective is to get rid of the stuff. And sometimes I'd walk away ashamed that I was haggling over $5 and I didn't do a sale. If I would have come down $5 or $10 when and that was a couple of years ago. And now I look back and now I still got the stuff, and you know you can't take that stuff with you. So just, I mean, if you're not using it, it's best to get rid of it. Um,
With that, so we were in his grandma's house and a lot of people from the neighborhood came out, and I
Mhm.
I was inside. So we even have the vanity stool that we have now in our warehouse. That's like the selling stool. It's this little white stool, oddly comfortable.
Yeah.
And I just set myself up on at a table and that was kind of my spot. So I'd usually have one other girl working in the house. My mom helped a lot and Warren was always outside. And because he was working on the garage the whole time, still getting things out, kind of the welcome committee. And there were every time I'd look outside, there was like a new neighbor that Warren was reconnecting with. This was a
Mhm.
neighborhood that a lot of people stayed in. And so it was like, I remember your grandma and oh, I knew this. And there was actually like a sign that said Teresa's garden. We didn't even have it in the sale. Like nobody would want this very specific sign. And this woman who lived down the street was like, I remember gardening with your grandma. Like I remember her and can I have this sign? And I have a picture of you guys with the sign and she had her daughter and it was just like how lovely
Mhm.
that even that sign found a next home.
Mhm.
Certainly, things don't find a home. Not everything sells, but
Mhm.
you give it an opportunity and you get to see people get excited about your stuff.
Mhm.
Warren, I found it a very sweet reflection at the end of day 1 or 2. You said, it feels like a funeral for my mom's stuff. Like we had this ceremonial ceremonious, passing of from one person to another. Like it wasn't just going to some donation site. It was you could see people leave with it and be excited about it.
Oh, for sure. There's more that brings value to life than, a dollar sign. And if you know that your parents spent all this time accumulating things and then see a person walk away happy, that brings value to knowing that what your parents did was not worthless. Because, the last thing you want to do is, you know, go through all these years and, do all these things and not have any value. And value does not mean dollar signs. It, could mean joy, bring joy to somebody else.
Mhm.
And all these people I grew up with, I haven't seen them in years. And we just happened to have a garage sale and they came through the door and then you know, you remember all these fond memories growing up and, what you did with them and neighbors I never knew, you know, you, you live on this block how many years and then you never meet somebody, 5 houses down. It's kind of sad really, but um, that's the way it is sometimes. And a garage sale is a really good social event to get to know your neighbors and, relive past memories and get to meet new people and find out their likes and dislikes. And um, I think that's a good thing.
Well, and ultimately the house the contract that it was under fell through. The buyer wasn't able to make it work. It was but then that opened up the door for new offers and you ended up getting significantly more for the house and able to like really feel that interest differently and it was only because people had walked through it and really
Mhm.
gotten to see and that allowed the family to see, oh, hey, if we put a little extra time into
Mhm.
this, maybe if we put, if we put a new roof on it, if we do a couple things,
Mhm.
it can have a bigger return on investment. So
Yeah.
instead of just seeing it as we got to get rid of this, it
Mhm.
became, hey, we can get rid of this for more than we
Mhm.
we thought.
Especially with all most of the items cleared out, you could actually like see the potential for each room for the
Yes.
house.
Yes. It was no longer an as is.
Mhm. Yep.
Yeah, it definitely brought value to the house because, we're talking tens of thousands, $50,000 about it, and I was able to get more because it was cleaned out, and we actually met the buyer through the garage sale because the first, like Colleen said, the first contract fell through, and so it was through the garage sale we actually sold the house, and so everything worked out pretty good, I'd say.
Worked out pretty good. And that's the story behind, our most intense sale effort ever and the backstory behind getting this lovely neighbor friend in my own world quite extensively. But we're going to come back and talk about like tips for people who want to have a garage sale, not a big, huge estate sale where you're going to have everybody inside of your house, but a tried and true garage sale. So come on back and we'll give you our tips for how to do the best garage sale possible this upcoming season. All right, welcome back to Sorting Through Life with Colleen Waterston on AM 950, the progressive voice of Minnesota. I am here with Alicia, who works with me nearly every day at client homes for Space by Space Organizing, where we help people to organize their lives through
Mhm.
their stuff. And I will say that our client work is largely focused on what stays in the home.
Yeah.
We don't spend too much time, like, sometimes I'm even going through people's items, not even seeing what they're saying goes. It's really just about getting people through what stays, what goes, what's your relationship to the stuff that stays so that we can put it back as best as possible. So we are not focused on what's going to happen with this stuff leaves.
Yeah.
Like we definitely do a post sort to make sure that it gets donated to the right place, properly disposed of to the right place, and perhaps resold, where we have started offering our clients a profit share on reselling items if it is of value. And that really came from working with Warren. So Warren here today. Hello, Warren.
Hello.
Hello. Warren is my neighbor, and it's kind of like this little odd pairing through the woods. So my front yard is Warren's backyard, and I am a home organizer, and Warren's comes from a family where his parents were excessive collectors. An extreme would be to call it the H word in some environments, but excessive collectors. And Warren had no idea what to do with all this stuff. And so we worked through a lot of it with estate sales. We've done the estate sale is really when it's like in the house and you're inviting people in to walk through all the rooms and everything is for sale. A garage sale, which is what we're talking about today, because it is garage sale season upon us here in Minnesota, is when you put everything outside of your house to be sold. And so today I wanted to kind of break it down and get very tangible for people who are excited about maybe hosting their own garage sale. We are going to talk through 10 things that you should be mindful of for a garage sale. Number 1, set expectations and have fun with it. So selling is often about getting rid of something. You know, a garage sale is not where you're going to make $1 million.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely don't want to go in, especially with like high price items, pricing them super high, expecting them to go. When people go to garage sales, they want to buy things for a couple bucks.
Yes. This is, and I think when you're pricing things, you can get really excited. Like, oh, I'm going to get like so much money for my things. And then you don't.
Yeah.
And now you're still have all your things. So I would say pricing things to let go, but knowing this is, I find a garage sale, like for us, for Warren, I think a date really motivates you.
Yes, I do need a certain time frame to get motivated, because if it's out there and the nebulous time frame, you don't get motivated. But when you're selling a house and you got a deadline to get the stuff out of the house, to get the house on the market, definitely a home organizer is a beneficial thing, because she likes to crack the whip. And,
Oh dear.
that's something.
I would say more of a good voice of reason.
But it's good to have somebody overseeing the
Yeah.
I
job
will
and
say,
taking control.
On a garage sale day for us, on a sale day, I'm probably calling Warren 4, 5, 7 times. Like, Warren, where are you? Warren, I'm here by myself. Warren, I'm pulling the tables out. Warren, it's 7:07. I told you to be here at 7. and then he tells me how late he was up the night before. And I'm like, okay.
See you in 5 minutes.
Yeah. See you 5 minutes ago, Warren. I was up late too. I'm tired too. But I would say, like, we have fun with it. That's everybody, the selling has really been a big part of our relationship, Warren. But now, you're the first and last at all my parties. You're always helping me out. We've got this dynamic where it's like, we're having fun. We're having fun putting something together, helping each other out, and a sale has been a way to really help release you of a lot of stuff. And so have fun with it. I would say, like, decide if you're going to do it with friends. But first and foremost, if you don't think a garage sale is going to be fun or sounds fun, then probably don't do it, because it won't be.
Yeah.
It can be very annoying, a lot of work. And you can sit there in sometimes the beating sun and sometimes the pouring rain. And so, it's like, you don't know what weather you're going to get necessarily. And so you should have the goal of having fun. So set expectations and pick your days and hours. So garage sales, this is number 2, picking your days. Thursdays are the garage sale days. Always. That's just like known that the garage sailors out there go out on Thursdays. Thursday, Friday, Saturday is the good stretch to do it. I always coordinate mine with a citywide sale. So I do a sale pretty much every year that the Optimist Club in my city does a fundraiser where they host a citywide sale. You get a special sign, but you're on a map. And so garage sale people check those citywide sales because then they can hit 30 in a day versus 5.
Yep.
You know? So pick your days and hours. This next sale, I'm doing 9 to 6 Thursday, Friday, and 10 to 3 on Saturday. There are people who do 8. I don't like 8. I don't like 8 because that means 6. You know, you're waking up, getting yourself ready, putting it out there. So pick a time that works for you and know that you're going to have people coming an hour before that time.
Start searching through things, asking what price for certain things, and
And if that seems annoying to you, plan on it. Because don't get out there earlier than you expect for somebody else to be out there, you know? And I have, put my car in front of my driveway to be like, oh, I'm not open yet, you know? Plan for people to come. But pick your hours with a time that works for you. For me, when I've done till, 4, I notice that there's a lot of people driving home past my street that want to come after work. So that's why I did till 6, so that I can catch those people. Pricing. So, Alicia, you're a big pricer. Google Lens.
Yes, that's been super helpful. I'd say there's definitely a difference between pricing things for a garage sale and estate sale. And for garage sales, you definitely want to price just to get the item sold. You don't want to spend too much time thinking about how much you actually could get this item for, because if you are wanting to get something or more for an item, probably not something you want to list in a garage sale.
If you have an item of really good value, the garage sale is not the venue for that item to sell at the highest value.
Yeah.
And Warren, you're notorious for this. We'll be in the middle of a sale, and that is when he starts getting motivated. And he goes to his house, and he'll come through the woods with this really cool thing. And I'm like, and then somebody sees it. And they're like, oh, I'll give you $20 for that. And I take out my phone, look up Google Lens. I'm like, Warren, this is worth $200. What are you doing bringing this out on a sale day? I think we've had this conversation no less than 30 times where it's certain items do well online. And do well for a more Facebook Marketplace, eBay, different selling model than a garage sale. A garage sale is, but if you have those valuables, just having those in a place that really is we know that this is a higher value. And if the right person walks through and sees it today and wants to buy it, great. But we're not just trying to get rid of it, kind of placement of things. But I will say pricing everything.
That was definitely my bad because I had no clue what this stuff is valued at. And so I'd carry out some stuff and this lady comes, she'll offer me $20 for this, and then, I could have sold it for 5 times more. And then, then Miss Colleen, she didn't allow me to sell anything after that. So I was
just trying to get you the most money for your items.
Yeah, it's nice to have somebody that cares about the price, that you want to get, the top dollar, but you can't really look at the top dollar, because, somebody got a good deal and that's going to happen. So you made them happy, but you can't, at the end of the day, you can't look at the price.
There's value in getting rid of things,
yes.
And so someone is paying to take your things away for you. And a lot of times, please, here you go. I'm happy to give you a good deal. And, our dynamic is part of the fun of what we do. Whoever's in the mix that day, it's kind of I think people definitely know the Warren and Colleen neighborhood dynamic, and that if we're at a sale, he's doing the grunt work. I've got the money. So with doing that, we use painter's tape. I would definitely say painter's tape is better than those little stickers that they sell at the store.
Yeah, I remember when we were using those stickers, and they would frequently get stuck to items.
Terrible.
And then you'd have to scrape or use the goo be gone. So
And don't put the price on a painting. So somebody put the price on a painting. Okay, then you peel off the price tag, and then the part of the painting went with it.
That's such a good point. Like really thinking maybe even put a piece of paper next to it to say what it is, or, take a picture of it and put it next to it. But be careful where you put your pricing, especially in the summer. Adhesive might melt. It's going to be harder to get off. I like painter's tape. We also do reselling. We have a lot of different people's stuff sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
So our next garage sale is selling some stuff for our clients. And so I've got all their initials on these things so that at the end of the day, I can sit back and add everybody's stuff really easily. So I will say with that, I like to haggle with people item by item. Mm-hmm. So kind of know your strategy going in, because we are Minnesotans. Not all Minnesotans are comfortable haggling or talking price. And so just kind of know that's part of a garage sale. So for me, I have legal pads, and then I use the painter's tape, and I put the painter's tape on, and I say, if you want a different price, tell me item by item, because I'm not going to do it at the end, because I have to give money to other people.
Yeah.
And so I need to and other people might say this is firm, and other people might be like, I don't care what you get for it.
Yeah.
And so it's like, I need to honor who I'm selling things for. And if you go through 10 items at the end, it's like $50 and you're like, how about 40? I'm like, no.
Yeah.
We went item by item. And that's what this is now, because now I know that this item for Warren is actually 8, not 10. But if you take it off at the end, I don't know how to make sure I calculate things correctly. So painter's tape and a notebook works well. Wear a bright shirt and a belt bag. So today I'm wearing a shirt that I would wear at a garage sale. It is a floral zip up, very bright. So if you have people helping you, they can say, oh, go find Colleen. She's in the bright shirt. It's good to wear a bright shirt. The belt bag, I always have my hands free. You want to have a bag on you that's big enough for your phone, for a Sharpie, for another roll of painter's tape. We had a girl helping us who I think 5 people brought me her phone throughout the day.
Oh my goodness.
She would just leave it around, and it was like,
especially at a garage sale, you never know where you're going to set it down.
no, yeah, it was constantly coming back to me. I'm like, Katie, here's your phone. But that one is a big one. Keeping valuables close. So I think having anything that I haven't had too much stolen, but things do get stolen.
Yeah.
But I think a big reason I haven't is because I plant, like when we were at your estate sale, I planted myself in the doorway. You did not get in or out of that house without me saying hello, offering you a basket, sizing up what you had in your hands and knowing. Like you would have been pretty sneaky.
Yeah.
But if you're in a garage sale, having a table closer to where you're going to sit and put people's stuff together so that it's like, here's the things of value and I know that they're here.
Yeah.
You could even take a picture of something, have it out, and keep the item in your own house to not have it out. I've had, like headphones stolen or, just things, not much. Not much. Signage. Warren is our biker to put out the signs. Let's talk about sign placement.
Well, at intersections, of course. And, you want the thing visible coming all directions of traffic. And then remember where you put your signs, because when the sale is over, pick them up. Don't have signs, that say there's a garage sale when there's no garage sale. And then one thing I want to add about the sale itself, I was really impressed with how organized Colleen was, because she would put a little picture of an item that was on sale on the internet. And then, so you walk through the house, you see a little picture of the item that you're looking at, and that means it's on the internet for sale too. And I thought that was a really clever way of keeping track of everything and how stuff is being sold, because there's multiple ways to sell stuff.
Well, and I think, thank you, Warren. I think people are always saying, wow, this is a really organized sale. And then I say, well, I'm a home organizer. And for me, that's one of the expectations, is it's fun to meet people through it. and meet potential clients and meet people that we can help sort through their stuff. But having it be organized makes it a lot easier for people to, come in, find something that they need, or even leave. And if we advertise that at your property, we did more sales than you'd ever do in your right mind. But we just kept going, and people knew every time they came, there'd be different stuff.
Yeah. But
they knew it would be easy to sort through. Mm-hmm. So I think that's something about sales. You get a lot of the same people because, signage and promotion. So they're separate, but they go together. So signage, I would say bright signs. I always go to the Dollar Tree and I get a really bright sign. And then I've gotten into painting, like the address, really big, and sale. One thing to invest in is really good sign stakes, because there's nothing more annoying than driving around at the end of the day and your signs are down because of the wind. Make sure that sign is going to stay up. So sometimes even putting cardboard in between and then flipping it over. Just make sure your signs are weatherproof. Saran wrap over it, or I've used shipping tape around the whole thing to make sure that if it's going to rain sometime in the 3 days that we're doing it, they're not ruined. And I also then use my same signs over and over now because they've got the right info. I pretty much stick to the same hours. So, this has become a little art and science over here. But having good signs visible and at places that people might stop. So Warren said intersections. Their car is going to be in park, or they're going to be stopped and they can take a picture of it or kind of take it in. But then closer to your house leading up so that people are excited by it. But the promotion. So Facebook Marketplace, we do a lot of selling on Facebook Marketplace, and we have a whole class we're working on for that. But Facebook Marketplace is also where you put that you're having a sale. Yeah. So you put the details, you put pictures, and I find, so if a sale is on a Thursday, I'll make sure I post by a Tuesday so that people are looking and mapping out their sales, can start putting it in their map. Really good pictures. If you can show what the tables actually look like, and people can get excited about seeing what you have. But then in the description, list clothes, what size, extra large women clothes, size 8 to 12 kids clothes. Really list what you have so that people can get excited and know, oh, that's for me or that's not for me. Like you will attract people who maybe wouldn't if you say something that they want, but don't say something that you don't have. But so Marketplace is great. Yard Sale Treasure Map app is where I find it's like only for sales, and it gives you a map. And so you can pull it up and see where the sales are today, what time, pictures. That one has been clutch. Like, long are the days of Craigslist. It is Facebook Marketplace, Yard Sale Treasure Map. And then also, if you are doing what we did once for your sale, we did estatesales.net and you listed, it was like $100 for the listing. You better want a line of people coming and be prepared for that, because that is what attracts a ton of people who are the big resellers or the big purchasers. I would say half the people who come to these sales are there to resell.
Yeah, I would agree.
And I don't mind that. But I do mind when they act like they're not. And there's a lot of people who come and they're kind of sneaky about things. I had the jewelry people come early. They'll even come while you're setting up. And there's this one guy who's come to every sale I've ever had, any location. And I'm like, hey, Chris, good to see you this year. And he was telling me there's this other woman who's a jewelry one, and she comes around and is like, oh, I love to get stuff for my granddaughter, and can you tell me how to get there? I don't know. And he saw this woman, and he's like, oh, she's at every sale. She doesn't do this for her granddaughter. Like, she's like me, and I like it because I can rely on Chris. Like, I know, okay, here, I've got this gold chain. Do you want to, like, know your people. And but a lot of people might be trying to get a deal so that they can go online and resell it. So, that's fine. I just like when people identify it, but just know that there's resellers. There's a lot of resellers.
Yeah.
And there's nothing. It's not negative. I just don't like tricky people.
Yeah.
I like transparency.
Mhm.
Transparency over trickiness. Because if you're going to tell me I have a vintage shop,
Mhm.
I'm like, well, let me show you everything I got.
Yeah.
Like, let me call you before I even have the sale so you can give me more room and scoop this stuff up for a fair price. And then I can support you and you can support me.
Yeah.
But if you're going to go and be like, I think I'm going to use this for this purpose and this, and it's like, I know you know what you're talking about. Okay, enough on that rant. Payment, I always print out my Venmo. I have a laminated Venmo QR code so that people can, and it's taped to my payment table, and people find that so helpful. So not just accepting Venmo, but printing out your Venmo card. And if you have a laminator, laminating it. I always wear a belt bag for my cash. And so that's an easy way for me to not have to worry about walking away from a table with cash. I just have it on me, and then I can go inside the house and dump some. Zone. Alicia's really good at this. You are very good at putting our zones together, table by table, making sure that everything is like in a store. And then we're going to end, we'll come back and talk about the end game plan. So this is, again, Colleen Waterston on Sorting Through Life. I'm here with Alicia and Warren, and we're talking garage sales. Welcome back to Sorting Through Life with Colleen Waterston on AM 950. And so today we are talking garage sales because it is that season. And our last tip, so we went through a bunch of very tangible tips for what to think about before doing your sale. We have done a lot. And I would just say, to kind of summarize the previous conversation, like, have a sale for the fun of it.
Mhm.
You don't have a sale to get rich. I live up a really long driveway, and having the sales for me has been how I've met some of my best friends in the neighborhood, including Warren, because Warren is in my front yard and I am his backyard. And we literally, um, he doesn't love to mow his lawn. He likes the natural look. And he will mow a line from his house to mine to bring stuff for our sales. And so that's kind of become our thing. And there was a time when we were really doing this. I would bring like a trolley to
Yep.
his house, and I would just bring a trolley and empty bins and be like, all right, Warren, let's keep going. And it's very sweet. But I have a book club, and it's a neighborhood book club. And like the first meeting, we're all going around like, what brought you to this club? And I think 4 or 5 people came from a garage sale. It's like my neighbor across the street. We met because her and her kids came over, and so it's a nice way to, like Warren was saying, like meet neighbors and
Mhm.
have those interactions. So if that's your expectation, like nothing can go wrong,
Yeah.
right? And then you make a few bucks, but it's really about kind of motivating getting things out of the house. And I would say it is not economical to hire people to run a garage sale. An estate sale is a different beast. With what we did at your grandma's house, Warren, we were doing an estate sale that had walk through the whole house, buy things in every room. Everything inside of this house is for sale. A garage sale is, these are the things I got out of my house. Would you like to buy them? And the time to hire an organizer would be before a sale
Mhm.
and say, hey, help me go through and declutter my house. And if you know you're going to have a garage sale, we can have bins, ready to go and say, okay, we'll put these over here if this is for the sale. These are the things that donate. This is trash. But then we're going to make sure that what stays in your house has a really good system
Mhm.
and is orderly and serves you. We are not the people you will not make money having us sell your stuff in a garage sale.
Yeah.
You will make, the value is in helping you get the things out. So that's where our last tip is, really having an end game plan. So for me, Like, I've got an upcoming garage sale Thursday through Saturday, and I am so excited for Sunday. I am so excited for, okay, if these things don't go, I will donate these items.
Yeah.
I know the certain things of higher value that, okay, we'll give it another shot. We'll put it on Marketplace. But a lot of things, I will say, if you are going to donate items, remove the stickers
Mhm.
because a thrift store is not going to sell your item. Like, it's trash to them for the most part. They don't have time to take off your stickers. So as you're going through things at the end of the day, take off your stickers and pack them away for the thrift stores or for the donation spaces. But I really encourage you, if you, as the home organizer in me, do not bring those things back in the house. You already knew that you wanted to let them go. And I think that the best thing that you can do for yourself is to keep them out of your house.
Mhm.
Make sure they go somewhere else, but just let the garage sale be the tool to get to be inspired to get rid of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, because you don't wanna bring it back into the house when you've already come to the conclusion, "This doesn't serve me anymore," and it's just going to take up extra space and just sit there like it had before, and chances are you probably won't do anything with it for quite a while.
At the end of the day, the less is more. I mean, the less stuff you have, but the better. And don't worry about whether you could have got an extra $5 or $10 on a sale, because that's not the objective here. The objective here is to have a good time, met your neighbors. I mean, if it wasn't for garage sale, probably really never got to know Colleen, and that's kind of sad because we were right next door to each other,
Best friends forever.
and but yeah, and then set the ambiance of a garage sale, maybe I like classical music, maybe some people don't like any music at all, but so some neutral music is kind of nice. And then if you have some snacks or something somebody can eat, people probably tend to stay there longer.
It's a good time. It's definitely a bonding time. This garage selling is how we've all motivated ourselves to get some stuff away, but I certainly think that of all the value of garage sales and selling with Warren, it's our friendship. Warren, you are such a sweet neighbor to me, such a sweet friend. I know I can call on you for virtually anything, and that you'll do whatever you can to help lighten my load. So if this rings true, reach out to us, spacebyspaceorganizing.com. We are happy to help you declutter, and we encourage you to have fun in the process of decluttering and getting rid of your stuff. Sorting Through Life with Colleen Waterston on AM 950.